Why the American Pitbull Terrier, the real American Pitbull Terrier, is the most amazing pet and the most amazing working dog. It's a perfect balance. The dog that one day was named Dog of Velvet and Dog of Steel. Velvet because he has such a temperament that can be playing with newborn children, can be playing with the family, that promotes you to be happy. It's a ball of happiness wherever he goes. He comes to you in a happy way. He promotes you to be full of confidence through the courage that inspires loyalty, inspires family, inspires honor, inspires masculinity. And this dog here, the real American Pitbull Terrier, for most people, their level of ignorance is so huge. They've been brainwashed. Most of the people that be listening to this audio conversation are going to be people maybe 20, 30 years, maybe 40 years young. And for those people, they already have a microchip in their head full of the wrong information. And sadly is that we became a society that love to do a research, which is proper to do the research, to be honest with you. But we do most of our research now, not in books, not in history, but through the internet. And the internet is a place where they will pay you through views and clicks and likes and comments. And even if you're not accountable to have the right information, as long as you're having some clicks and some stuff and people coming in. And so when you look for information about American Pitbull Terrier, you're going to have 1,000 voices, maybe more than 1,000 voices, saying their own opinion, their own misleading beliefs. You have a blend of good information with bad information. You might have good people that have good intentions with bad information. But what is very, very difficult is finding someone that is willing to give you the truth. Someone that's willing, that knows the truth, that knows the facts, that knows the difference. Someone with experience that's able to come up and say, I lived this, I seen this, and let me show you this, and let me show you this why, and this. You don't find that, man. Very difficult. And you find book writers, for instance, which have good intentions, but a lot of times we are each other in a world of the American Pitbull Terrier that is misunderstood even by book writers, who they want to please everyone that has a dog, and they will bring what is called a consensus acceptance. They want to bring everything. They want to make everybody happy. Come on, open, come on to the circus. The circus is open. And they don't want to break nobody's hearts with the truth. And as in my case, I'm that man that does not care about breaking somebody's heart as long as I'm doing it with the truth. I don't want to break people's hearts. Of course, I don't want to do that. I'm a great person. But I want people to know the facts, and even if it hurts, know the truth. And that's the most important part. That's the most important thing. The American Pitbull Terrier was created for superiority. That was one thing you must understand. The center of the American Pitbull Terrier, the core of it is competition. The core of the man, of the masculine figure, is competition. That's why you have countries going against countries. That's why you have companies going against companies. That's why they have this competition. That's why America was built under competition. That's why the concept that was given by American Pitbull Terriers fighting in a pit on the 1800s, what gave America a breath of understanding. There is something called bringing chaos into concept. This part right here is so important to society, for society to have a healthy understanding of what's going on. There will be a chaos, a lot of opinions, a lot of this, a lot of that. And it takes a person that has a lot of understanding, a lot of pragmatism, to bring all this chaos into concept where you can understand the concept, and you can use this concept to be like your light in the night and walk through the darkness and understand what is the topic, what is right, what's not right, what matters, what don't matter, what needs to be accepted, what needs to be rejected. And so when we deal with American Pitbull Terriers, the truth of it, the core of it is competition. And American Pitbull Terriers from within the fighting pit in America back in the 1800s gave America the concept of underdog and top dog. And men, whenever they had life, everything against them is stacked against them. They come from a poor family, from a poor background. They might be discriminated because of their race, because of their looks, because of their size. Whatever the case might be, they always have the spirit of the underdog. And this word underdog really takes them to another level. This word underdog, because underdogs back in the days when they were fighting, that a lot of people will say the underdog has a big heart and won't quit. And they saw maybe the dog was on top, was making some bad moves and making some signals that he don't want to be there, although he's the dog on top. That happens a lot. And that happens a lot in life. And so they say, I'll bet on the underdog because the underdog will not quit. Not quitting. Don't quit. You hear these men like Robin Williams. You see all these men telling you, don't quit. No matter what you do, don't quit. And that comes from the American Pitbull Terrier. And then you hear the word top dogs on corporations in different places. We have a contest this month where the top dog is going to get some extra money, where the top dog is going to get some extra bonuses. And what happens is these top dogs need to get their money. They need to have the growth. They need to have the accolades. And they get rewarded for being the top dog, for having more production. You hear that on real estate companies. You hear this on Wall Street. You hear this in small places. You hear people, employees that want to preserve their jobs, and they have two jobs, two people or three people doing the same job, and the boss need to keep one. Well, he don't keep the one that is soft and nice. He keep the top dog because at the end of the day, they work on production and they need the top dog to stay. So all these principles come from American Pitbull Terriers, whether you like them or not. I'm just touching history. When it comes to the real American Pitbull Terrier, the real American Pitbull Terrier, the gray dogs, they were real at different eras. What was real back in 1990 might not be real today. And the difference is, and the why it's not real, is because the American Pitbull Terrier has gone through a process of evolution. It continues to grow and become better. And the reason of that particular reason is because of the framework of the American Pitbull Terrier is different than any other breed. It should be the framework of the real breeds, all the breeds. Let me give you a perfect example. Let's say you're breeding pointers, right? Let's say there's pointers. That's a functional dog. You know, how good is a pointer dog that don't point in the right direction or send you in the right place, on the wrong place? How good is a retriever that don't retrieve? How good is a German shepherd that can't shepherd? And that is the core of the situation sometimes, is that you have these dogs that they're not proper for their functionality. And now they're being bred by kennel clubs. The whole entirety of a kennel club is the beginning of the destruction of all the breeds. And the reason is because they got ideas that are away from functionality. And when you have these kennel clubs, they develop dogs according to their own, they call it standards, their own ways, their own things, and not really that the real dog becomes the winner or the dog that gets bred. But in the American Pitbull Terrier, Americans were different. Americans only bred the best female to the best male. And in America, believe it or not, back in those days, you were not be able to breed dogs and sell dogs in America, because nobody will buy a dog from you until you were someone of respect. Americans wanted to get a dog from the proper men, something that has been lost today. You couldn't buy a dog from a kennel that has a flashy name, but the flashy name don't represent the product you're getting. People wanted to get the dog from the right man that has the right process and that has already a legacy created that takes decades of improving the breed. Because that's what it's about. It was about to making a better dog every single time. And so you had a group of gentlemen, of men that they were competing on a cause to really have the best dog possible. And I give you a perfect example of a dog in the 1990s. I got into dogs in the 90s, and I was able to see these with my own eyes. You might not know of this game dog, but he's one of the biggest, greatest game dogs of history. His name is Grand Champion Mayday. He already passed away. But Grand Champion Mayday, when Grand Champion Mayday was the dog of the year, came out of Dog of the Year Grand Champion Yellow on Hollings for Dolly, this dog was an asteroid. I saw men that had yards of dogs, kennels of dogs, with 50, 100 dogs, black dogs, different colors, which are very predominant back in the days of the Eli dogs in the 70s. But once this dog came over, those men started to see the children of Mayday taking over all over United States. And those people, they knew that they were outgunned by the dogs of Grand Champion Mayday. And by that particular definition, that Grand Champion Mayday took over, and everyone started selling their dogs, giving their dogs away, trying to make space so they can have their best female being bred to Grand Champion Mayday, so they can have a little bit of that bloodline of Grand Champion Mayday. I don't think that that was the right way to do it, because if the bloodline that they had was not already producing at the level they wanted to do, they actually were mixing their, I call it their donkeys, with the thoroughbred horse. But that's a different story for a different video. But that's really how people move. So the breed becomes Mayday. All those other stud dogs went to the back seat. They were not being used for studs anymore, because the stud dog that got the preferences was Mayday, which means the best dogs are the breed, and the other dogs do not become the breed. They don't get bred. That's the process of best to best. The best dog gets to breed the best females. If someone has a yard with 20, 50, 100 females, and the stud fee to breed a Grand Champion Mayday, just to give you an example, is $5,000. They're not going to take the worst female they have to breed a Grand Champion Mayday. They will take the best female they have to breed a Grand Champion Mayday. So the best to the best, that's how it is. And that is the only breed. Everything else that does not fit into that is not the breed. So keep that in mind. So when it comes to the American Pitbull Terrier, the real American Pitbull Terrier, when it comes to the right process of the right men, those dogs become dogs that were selected by being, pay attention to what I'm going to teach you right now, dogs that are great for children, that are great for families. And the reason why they're great for children is because they're inspirational. And back in those days, you didn't have children being attacked or killed by dogs. The reason why they didn't is because they discovered by a chance. It was just by a chance that they figured this out, that today there is a technology, is a name given to it. It's called epigenetics. But they didn't know epigenetics. They just knew and identified by being pragmatic that the dogs that were aggressive towards humans, when they go inside the fighting pit, they will usually quit when things were not going their way, which is opposite the American Pitbull Terrier. American Pitbull Terriers are not like the lion. The lion will quit for survival. That's why don't hear me much saying, oh, the heart of the lion, because I know the lion is a quitter under a lot of pressure. Yet the American Pitbull Terrier is not a quitter. The American Pitbull Terrier will stay in mission until he finishes the mission. And so those dogs, and I'm not promoting dog fighting, I'm teaching you history that you don't know, because you are born in the weakest era, when the most pervert, most distort information being given to you by a whole bunch of people that don't know crap about dogs. They just don't know it. And so those particular dogs that make the best dogs, they were very kind with children. And there is something that's attached into, let's say, a man that you probably need to study if you don't know him. His name is Hoyce Gracie. It spells R-O-Y C-E, Hoyce Gracie. And you can look him up as the first champion of the UFC. Very calm, very humble man. He owns one of my dogs. And the man is just very normal guy. He's not a bully. He's not a pretentious man. He's always got this amazing smile. He's always very nice guy. But take a look at his records in the UFC and how he kicked ass. He's an amazing fighter. He became the first UFC champion, first UFC Hall of Fame champion. And when you're looking at this man right here, it's a perfect example of someone that can be very nice, as soft as velvet, very gentleman, but at the same time, if he needs to defend himself, will destroy you. In other words, he's not looking for trouble, but if trouble comes to him, he'll smash it. And that is really what the American Pitbull Terrier has in common with these gladiators. That's why these gladiators, when they discover the real American Pitbull Terrier, when they weed through all the fake pit bulls, when they weed through the fake pit bull called the XL, the double X, the giant, the bully, all these mutts being bred in the neighborhoods, all the game dogs being bred in the hoods of 3rd Ward, 4th Ward, and 5th Ward in Houston, all the different game dogs from the lowlights, from the criminals in South Carolina, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Virginia, all those in Florida, all these different scumbags that breeding these so-called supposed to be game dogs. When you weed through all that garbage and you get a great dog, you have something that's special. The American Pitbull Terrier, back in the 1800s, they used to call them the nanny dogs. And they were called nanny dogs because they came from dogs that within their bloodline or the selection of the particular family, America was open range. You must understand, it was open. There was one house in the middle of acres and acres and acres. So when the parents do farming, they needed to have a smart dog. And these same warrior dogs were the dogs that will protect the cattle, protect the pigs, and do all that stuff, because they were multi-purpose dogs. They couldn't do everything. They were fighters, they were nanny dogs, and they were cattle dogs, and they were hunting dogs, they were protection dogs. They would do everything without having this stupid guy with the suit training the dog to attack nobody. They had it naturally, they had an instincts. It's just a really beautiful machine of a dog. And these dogs that they select by attitude, by character, by not being men biters, whenever they got trained by the wife, by the children, by the husband, to go into a fighting pit, which it was legal at the time, and nobody gives you the how do you call it, the right for you to audit history, and you don't agree. It doesn't matter if you agree or don't agree with history. It was before your grandparents were born, and that's what they used to do. So we're just touching history. And those dogs, they have love from those people, encouragement from those people as a competition animal. And when those dogs went into the pit, the men will go into the pit. The family was around the pit, encouraging the dog. The dog will give everything he has. He might win, he might lose. He'll come home, and in that house, the mama and the children will protect him, because don't call the vet. There was no veterinarians around. And so they will take care of the dog themselves. And that dog will see how he can nurture back to health, and how he gets love and appreciation for being a warrior. And when that dog has puppies, his puppies will be extra loving. And this process of extra loving is called epigenetics. You need to study that, how the wolf became a dog, because epigenetics, the puppies that were calm, and that they take them and they raise them, and those puppies they raise with love, and they have a good temperament to humans. They'll have puppies that have better temperament till the dogs are docile and love men more than love themselves. And this is exactly who built the breed. These families, not only the men's, but the wives and the children were important in the process. In America, that's why it's called American Pitbull Terrier, and he's the only dog that calls Pitbull. That's the only real Pitbull, not the one that you call Pitbull. That dog you call a Pitbull, that's a mutt. The dog you Google right now, Pitbull dogs, go to images. Everything you see there by all these tutti frutti guys, everything is absolutely fake Pitbulls. They're not Pitbulls by descendants. They're not Pitbulls by origin. They're not Pitbulls by the men who bred them. They don't have a brand that comes from an American Pitbull Terrier. There is no legacy. There is no heritage. There is nothing. These dogs that came from some guy that bought a dog and bred the dog with the neighbor's dog and said, I got puppies, I got them for sale. He said, what kind of dogs are those? Are Pitbulls. And they don't even have the right image of the Pitbull. You have no idea how many people come to my page and they look at my dogs and they laugh. And it's crazy because they think they know what a real Pitbull is. They see this dog with the clip ears that is not a real pit bull. Oh, the UKC don't know nothing about pit bulls. Sadly, was the man that created the UKC that gave the name of American Pit Bull Terrier to these dogs. And the AKC, in competition with this man, created a knockoff of the American Pit Bull Terrier and called it American Staffordshire Terrier, which has absolutely different standards. It's not only about shows. You see these kids on YouTube telling you, it's the same dog. It's not the same dog at all. They got different bringing ups, different framework, different genetics, different everything. And if you want to believe about genetics, let me give you a perfect example how I'm going to knock off your teeth when you talk about genetics. Let me give you a sample that's going to blow your mouth. You remember when I told you that competition is at the core of the American Pit Bull Terrier? Well, within the core of the American Pit Bull Terrier, there is a component of competition, and that's how the breed continues to grow. And so I will tell you that a perfect example on how being related to someone don't mean nothing. Michael Jordan, 6.7, 6.9, $4 billion, $6 billion. He owns, he's the superhero of the NBA, the greatest basketball player of all times. And he has two brothers, good but not great. They're not superstars. They're not influential to the history of NBA. Nobody even know. You probably didn't even know they exist. And I think they're 5.4, 5.6. They got the same genetics, same father, same mother, different process, different capacity. So if this was a litter of puppies, somebody will pick Jordan to be the one that becomes the best, and once he wins and becomes this great dog, Jordan will be the one that breed all the females, and the brothers will not breed females. The dogs are not humans, where every human gets to have sex and have puppies, children, and develop a family. Not in dogs, that doesn't work that way. And I know for some of you tutti frutti rainbow people, it's going to be difficult for you to understand that. And that's why you should go get a dog that probably belongs to you. Maybe a poodle, maybe a shih tzu, maybe some different type of dog. The American Pit Bull Terrier was made for alpha males because it was made by alpha males. And it protects the masculinity of boys. It was not built on the female grandmother thinking of equality. Equality was birthed by grandmothers, where they want to hold everything, and they have a sense of equality. American Pit Bull Terriers were built on a sense of superiority, where the best dog is the one that gets bred. Only the best and F the rest. That's the principle of it. Before you own any dog, before you even know the name Pitbull, before you were a little boy, walk around and your uncle Ruckus that don't know nothing about American Pit Bull Terriers saw a bully and told you, hey kid, look at that, I want to get one like that. That's an American Pit Bull Terrier. That's not how it works. The American Pit Bull Terrier is not that dog. The American Pit Bull Terrier is between 40 to 60 pounds condition. And as a male, an American Pit Bull Terrier is a great dog. It's not a pet. It's a super pet. It connects with humans in ways that a Yorkie, a Frenchie, how do you call these dogs? Retrievers and Labradors won't connect. I got friends that used to own before Labradors, and they say, wow, what a difference. So when you get the right dog, the dog that has the brand, you say, what do you mean the dog have a brand? That's crazy. How can a dog have a brand? The brand is, when you start buying an American Pit Bull Terrier, you buy it because of the brand. And I'll make a video for you so you can know how to buy a dog by the brand. The brand is the breeder, and I explain to you why. And once you hear that, you will agree to it. If you have any common sense at all, the American Pit Bull Terrier is not the mutt that's being sold in your neighborhood. And when you want the American Pit Bull Terrier, you're not going to find pit bulls near me, pit bull breeders near me. That's not how it works. This is not McDonald's or Tesla that you can go to a dealership and they have a copy of all the same product all over the United States. These dogs are born in a special places with families that work very hard to create something that is very difficult. And the American Pit Bull Terrier, the real one, is the most rare pit bull in the world because it's the only one that's real. And you don't find it in every corner. You find it from the right men, from the right sources that have created other great dogs, such as Global Champion the Bagman, such as Global Champion Mechanic Bug, Global Grand Champion Atos from Busha, Ukraine. Those are the real American Pit Bull Terriers. And they've never been men biters. I've been in the American Pit Bull Terriers, and this man that's talking with you, I influence my breeding program by rejection. I don't make a list of what I'm going to approve. I have a black list of what I'm going to reject first. So I have a clarity on what I'm rejecting. And then the rest, then I make a list of what I'm going to approve. And those approved dogs for 34 years have been influential on creating the most amazing American Pit Bull Terriers in the history of the breed. There has never been any better dogs than I created the Golden Vein bloodline. There has never been. Coming in to our place, the real American Pit Bull Terrier, 123pitbulls.com. Study it. Once you study this, you start to learn more and more and more. I'm going to create videos like this. If you find value on this content, hit the like button, give us some love, some support, drop a comment, subscribe for more videos like this if you like this type of comment. My name is Chico Lopez. I'm an ambassador of the American Pit Bull Terrier breed, the real one, not the XLs, not the double X's, not the dog that your boyfriend gave you, but the real American Pit Bull Terrier. I'm an ambassador of those dogs. I'm a protector of the real breed, not the dogs that you know as pit bulls, but the Golden Vein. And I love the dogs, and I'm making families happy. I didn't make this video because I want to sell you a dog. I made this video because I don't want you to be stupid. I want you to learn and learn from the right person. Because one thing that the people that bred American Pit Bull Terriers in the past failed, it was their ability to communicate the right messages to the right people and to tell people that want to breed, no, I don't work with breeders. I don't work with dog fighters. Breeders are the first line of destruction of every breed because there is only a few men that should be breeding that know how to breed on every breed and create great dogs. Everyone else is in the process of deformation. Deformation meaning making mutants. For you guys that agree, for you guys that understand, for you guys that study, for you guys that want to challenge these, I challenge you to study the right information and only pick the best. My name is Chico Lopez. God bless you.